What more can you tell us? Any further details coming through on local radio?
No, not right yet. Like I said, the police are there and they've sealed off the area. And right now, we're still trying to work out just how many people were in that supermarket. It is, bear in mind, Friday morning probably wouldn't have been that crowded. And of course, there's also reports of a shooting incident involving a policeman, maybe CRS, who was injured as well. The special French forces for this area are based in Toulouse and Montpellier, and I suspect they'll be being sent from both, actually, to deal with this. In fact, ironically, a special unit, the GIGN, was only set up in Toulouse very recently. They complained that while there were forces in Bordeaux that weren't here to deal with this kind of incident. So I guess you could say that they've arrived in time because, as my colleague was just saying, we haven't had an incident like this for several months now, and definitely under Macron's watch. So they'll be down there now. And in fact, I saw them training not long ago in Toulouse as preparing for this kind of event of a siege by a gunman. So they're probably on the way now, or probably gone there by helicopter, and they'll be there very shortly.
Chris, of course, as you were saying earlier, it's the 6th anniversary of those events in Toulouse. While at this stage we're still waiting for further confirmation of who this individual is, and we don't know for certain if indeed he is connected in any way or form with the Islamic State group. The town or the city of Toulouse was very much traumatised by those horrific events 6 years ago. How are things now? And certainly I imagine an event like this must bring back many traumatic memories for people in that part of the world.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you know, but a lot of people who actually were part of the recruitment drive on behalf of Islamic State, based in Syria and Iraq, actually came from the Toulouse basin. Nobody's really been able to work out why that is the case, but there seems to be a large number in the south, in a place called Lunel, which is near Montpellier, and in this region itself. And several of them recently, who were close to Mohamed Merah, have been executed, have died in targeted attacks by Allied forces and by the Syrians as well. There was a large ring. They said about 12 people may have gone over from this region, and who also helped with recruitment and some of the planning and some of the attacks back in France in the last couple of years. And nobody's really sure why specifically in this region, but nevertheless, it's a reality. The city has kind of recovered from what happened 6 years ago, especially since there have been so many other attacks, but mainly in Paris, and of course there was Nice as well, and even in Lyon. So the memory's still fresh. I mean, I was very much part of that coverage, and I remember all the explosions in Toulouse and near the city centre, rocket attacks. And it seems like a very strange situation in a city like this where you're not used to that. But there have been far more violent attacks in France since then. So it's far from, Toulouse maybe was the one that began it, but it's spread. There's so many other places since then.
Chris, do stay with us, because obviously this is a developing story and a developing story of importance here in France.